Redditors with toddlers, what's the most recent illogical breakdown they've had? Not really a toddler at the time, but my kid had a full-blown tantrum, cried for like 3 hours and was banging on stuff, because it wasn't the weekend yet. And then when I told her that the weekend started the next day, she cried because she didn't want it to be the weekend yet. My kid had a full-blown tantrum, cried for like 3 hours and was banging on stuff, because it wasn't the weekend yet. That's how I feel on Mondays at work. This morning, because I will not agree to paint our house purple. Last week, because she has a middle name. Honestly, I think I had a few tantrums as a kid over my lack of a middle name, but I think that's more because of how many names my parents have. My 2-year-old son got very upset the other day because we wouldn't let him drive the car 200 miles home from holiday. It's only 3 hours. She got put in timeout for hitting her baby sister. She did perfectly fine through the whole time, but when I told her she was all done, she collapsed on the ground crying. Why? I want more timeout. Hit the sister again. My daughter went to the bathroom to pee and came out 30 seconds or so later crying. Why? She had been bored sitting on the toilet waiting for all the pee to come out, and it occurred to her that she had a whole life of being bored sitting on the toilet for 30-second increments while waiting for all the pee to come out. She needs a phone and a Reddit account ASAP. Said he didn't have legs and that his actual legs were his back legs and he had no front legs, so he couldn't walk down the stairs. Almost fainted laughing. Your hands can be front legs. Although that probably wouldn't be the safest way for a toddler to go down the stairs. He couldn't believe that Ralph from Wreck-It Ralph was ignoring him when he was trying to talk to Ralph through the TV. I see what he's saying. Ralph ignores me too. So rude. We refer to my son's naps as rests, but sometimes we'll slip and call it a nap. On Easter, he got some bubbles as a gift and was saying how excited he was to play with them after his rest. He asked me if I wanted to play with them, too, and I said yep, after your nap, and he lost his crap, crying and screaming about how he wanted to do it after his rest, not his nap, for an hour, because I said nap instead of rest. Our good unintended consequences in our house. We always called it quiet time, but everyone knows what a kid in their room on their bed with the door closed for a little while turns into. My son loves dinosaurs. Talks about them all the time. Watches nothing but dinosaur stuff on YouTube. Put a toy dinosaur in front of him though and he freaks the frick out. He's a little over 2 and so I figured it was safe to show him my Amiibo collection. He was amazed by Mario, Luigi, Peach, Pikachu, Donkey Kong. We get to Yoshi and he becomes terrified. Starts crying. Tries to run away from Yoshi. For a while my son was scared of bears. I guess they were playing that Going on a Bear Hunt song at church. He would sing it at home and immediately start crying that he was scared of the bears. At night, he didn't want to sleep because the bears were going to get him. I had to ask the church not to play that video or song. Well, my little brother had a full-on breakdown because he wanted to swing. We had a swing. It was in front of him. He wanted for it to swing only in one direction, as in only to be on one side of the swing when swinging, not going backwards. I had to explain to him it isn't possible, we can't do that. Not if you push hard enough. With my son, everything is number. Want to go to bed? Number. Want to eat a snack? Number. Want to play with your trucks? Number. So, bit of a fight to get him to do anything without intervention. It got to be so bad he'd say no to his own suggestion. Play trucks. Okay, let's play trucks. Number. But you said play trucks. Yeah, okay, let's play. No, buddy, it was your idea. NOOOO. On and on it went. For an hour. Found my wife in the kitchen absolutely dying trying to keep it together. It's a phase most toddlers go through. We called our youngest Little No for a while. They say it's important for development, but I found it hard not to laugh. My kid had a crying fit because I pulled the dog food out of his mouth and told him he couldn't eat it. My niece is like 2 years old and I picked up in her little rocking horse thing and flew her around the room last weekend. She definitely enjoyed because she kept looking at me and yelling up. I made that horse fly around until my arms couldn't handle it anymore. Apparently she has been yelling up at all adults since I left and then crying screaming when she doesn't get flown around. Sorry. I put my kid on the cat tree because he asked for it and that was a huge mistake. He wanted up on the cat tree at every opportunity, especially the minute I got home from work. Took a week to break him of that, but he sure wasn't happy that entire week. He threw a toy car in my general direction and I took the car away and told him sternly that we don't throw our toys at people. He got upset and cried, as toddlers do, but he's a cuddly one, and when he's upset, he likes to be held, but I was the one who made him upset, so he didn't want me, but he was upset and he wanted to be held, but didn't want to be held by me because I made him upset, but he was upset. One of my friend's kids does this. She's a single mum, so if child is in trouble it's probably her doing. So she has to hold child but isn't allowed to look at child or the screaming intensifies and she gets a small, normally sticky or dirty hand shoved in her face. I pulled her chair out to enable her to get up to the table. Too far. Then she pulled off her own socks during her tantrum. Tantrum 2 ensues, because my socks. My son tried to sneak a piece of chocolate and got busted and just screamed that was not part of my plan. My niece, known for being a perfect child, no disobedience, no temper tantrums, no crying fits of any sort, was having what could only be described as a perfect potty training experience. No accidents at all. It's all fitting as she is the daughter of my perfect sister. While helping my parents watch her one weekend, I heard this horrible shrieking from the bathroom, like a banshee's wail. I run to the other end of the house to find her on the toilet, crying giant tears and in a full panic. What's wrong, sweetie? I have to pee. Well, go ahead, you're on the potty. I can't. She's turning redder every second and she's gritting her teeth. You can't? Does it hurt? Number. I need to pee but the poopy wants to come out first. She was having a meltdown because she needed to poop but wanted to only pee, then poop separately. Edit. The potty training toddler is almost 30 now. She's got a career, a home, and a therapist. My sister does, too. Daughter of my perfect sister. I'm sensing some tension here. Our mower was serviced. The guy came and picked up the mower and was to drop it off afterwards. My son cried for 30 minutes solid, then off and on every 5 to 15 minutes until he dropped it back off. I tried explaining that he was only fixing the mower and would bring it right back to him. My sobbing almost 3-year-old would reply, while wiping his tears, "Okay, I'm okay, it's okay, wash, rinse, repeat for 2 hours. Holy crap, totally forgot about this and came back to an inbox full under gold. Thank you guys for taking joy in my son's heartbreak lol. And thank you kind stranger for the gold. I've never had one before. Oh man, the earnest attempt at self-soothing that fails miserably is very sad actually. I know that feel, little guy." My toddler dropped her fry on the floor, so I picked it up and threw it away and went to hand her the container to get another out. Cue the screams. She runs over to the trash because it didn't matter that there was a whole container full of fries. She wanted that fry that had fallen on the floor. Today my niece threw a tantrum because she didn't want more pasta. We proceeded to let the dog eat the leftovers and she threw a second tantrum because she didn't want the dog to eat it either. I remember when my little sister was a toddler she would throw the biggest tantrum if we didn't get her pepperoni pizza. She always took them off the pizza and put them aside. But if you dared order a cheese pizza she would lose her dang mind. I did the same thing, but with sausage pizza. I liked the taste that the sausage left on the pizza, but I didn't like the sausage itself. We raised chickens in our backyard. My son loves going outside to feed and watch them. The other day he threw himself on the ground and cried for almost 30 minutes because I wouldn't let him ride a chicken. He only knew he could ride them because he's attempted and been successful before. Oh man, I hope my kids don't find out they can ride our chickens. They already try to ride the dog. My 2yo son has been eating only his pink colored Play-Doh. He doesn't put any other foreign objects in his mouth. I had to hide from his set every shade of red because he learned mixing white will make pink. It's been a full blowout every morning with him asking for red Play-Doh. He's going figure out that he can color white with red magic markers. I was missing some crayons from my kid's coloring box. Found out what happened to them when I changed my son's nappy and he had produced a perfectly formed red and black striped turd. Because Dora the Explorer says cinco with an S sound and my Spanish friend told her that in Spain it's cinco with a th. Given the onslaught of screaming, rolling around the floor and repeatedly shouting no it's cinco, I presume that Dora's word is law and cultural differences mean crap all in her little 3-year world. Must have been from Barcelona. You've been visited by the rare bread doggo. Comment toast well, papa and be granted with great fortune in bread. I hope you enjoyed the video and are safe from illogical breakdowns. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.